Yo, what up, everybody? Y'all know what it is. Y'all know how we start. Always got to take a shot, right? This one, man, this one goes out to probably, my personal favorite sport, football. It's coming around the corner. 2 more weeks, you know what I mean, till we start all just getting, inebriated every Sunday instead of going to church with the family. Shout out to the fantasy football guys, but you know what I mean? Let's do it since we ain't got no Knicks to pray for. Mets ain't doing too well. Let's go Giants. Big Blue, NFL season. Let's get it. What up, Cash?
Yo, what up, though?
Oh, it's good.
I want to welcome everyone back to Real Sports Talk, New York's new number one sports talk show. You know we the voice of the streets.
Facts.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. It's your boy Cash, and I got the one and only incomparable man riding shotgun with me. You already know the man's name, but if you don't, it's my boy Q. What's good, my dude?
What's good, my guy? Yo, man, what a week, man. Between work and everything, family, you know what I mean? It's good to get a chance to always have this. And I don't even call this my hobby. This is, but it's always good to have somebody to talk, shoot the shit with. You know what I mean? I always love doing this show, man. So, we always have fun. And, now we're going to start talking, either going to be happy every Monday or every other Monday, or we're gonna be super excited. And like when your football team wins on that Sunday or whenever they play, man, you feel relieved for the next 6 days until they play again.
Yeah, no question. You don't got a fan going on in the background, right?
Nah. Oh, probably AC. I should know.
Okay, you about to cook. It's about to start cooking in there. It's cooking in
Oh
here too. I had to cut
man,
my AC off here. There's no soundproof rooms over here. We
word.
get it in. Yeah, man, I'm glad to be back. Football season, you feel the briskness in the air. Every time I feel like we kind of got jerked a little bit. Pause on our August and our summer. I feel like winter kind of snatched some away a little bit because it's feeling like football season out here. It's feeling like October baseball almost or fall baseball. And when it asks, you get up in the morning and it's like 60 and it's almost hoodie weather. I'm still rocking the t-shirt and all that, but definitely feels like football is in the air. We got our last preseason game coming up this week. Giants and Jets are there's listen, there's a lot of emotions with these two New York football teams in the past couple of years, right? I think we can all agree on that, good or bad.
Mhm.
A lot of heartbreak the last decade with the Giants. Yeah, decade more or less. We had the one year in there with when we made the playoffs and all that. We know how that turned out. But this year, even for both teams, it feels like there's this spark, right? Now I know I listen. I know I say this shit every year. I understand this. You know what I mean? You could probably go back the last couple of seasons with us and see me hopping out the window, jumping out the window, and all that. But this year, it pause. It feels different, man. Like, I think it's me being hopeful in the past. You know what I mean? Me being hopeful, me being such a Giants homer, and then, and a Jets homer to that extent, and a New York homer to that extent that I was always jumping out the window. But like I said, this year we have this spark. It's more than a glimmer of hope. It's a legit hope. Shane and
Mhm.
Dable, right? It's been a love hate relationship with them. We've been up roller coaster ride. We've been up with them in their first year.
Mhm.
Next couple of years, a little shaky. Now it seems like it's possibly starting to, the scales are tipping back in their favors a little bit. During the at the end of last year, it felt like it was inevitable they were both going to get cooked. You know what I mean? Maybe one before the other, but I'm not saying they're out of the woods now. They still got to do what they got to do, but on paper and the feeling and the excitement around New York City, watching these guys in training camp, watching these guys in these couple of preseason games, watching the moves they make, not only this year but the last couple of years, pan out. They've got a decent team. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I've said this before. It's very exciting to see. And no shot at Daniel Jones. Maybe I heard he's gotten the starter position in Indy for game one. Good for him. Maybe he'll ball out. Maybe he'll be like a Sam Darnold, you know, that didn't work with
Yeah.
the Jets, bounced around a little bit and kind of find the right system with him over there in Minnesota. and Kevin Conley. But as far as the Giants, it's Dable and Shane. They're not out the woods, but it's like this: the firing squad. They had their scopes on them, and I think they're at ease for a minute, and we're gonna see how this plays out. But it looks promising. And as far as the Jets, and we're gonna get into both teams, we're gonna break all that down. But there's elation, you know what I mean, with the Jets, and I know not as much the past game, the past preseason game, but listen, man, we're gonna get into that, but it's preseason. Let's everyone simmer down for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And the Jets have suffered. If you're a Jets fan, you should be happy, man. The Jets have suffered worse than the Giants. You know what I'm saying? This last decade, and it basically the whole history. Out is Douglas. Out is Nate Hackett. Out is Brick. Out is Robert Saleh. In Muji. In Astron. Steve Wilkes, Aaron Glenn, man, they have these guys. They seem, the feeling I get with the Jets is they feel like they have the capable guys in place. You know what I'm saying? Now, like saying with the Giants, it still has to play out in real time. But on paper, it looks good. It seems like they have the right staff to turn this around. We saw Glenn come in here and immediately establish a culture. And we're gonna get the full scope of the Jets in a minute. But one thing I noticed immediately with Glenn was in training camp, in OTAs, even in the first game, guys are making stupid penalties. He's ripping these dudes on the sideline. Something Saleh never would do. Saleh wanted to be everybody's boy. You know what I'm saying? Saleh be in the gym with these dudes because Saleh was probably paused. Saleh be in the gym with these dudes, but he didn't want to hold these dudes accountable, hold their feet to the fire. And I see that with Glenn already, man. And Glenn is a no nonsense, just a tough, hard nosed coach. But he's also a player's coach, and he already to me has the respect of the locker room, of the front office. He's a former Jet, right? Let me play my Aaron.
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Listen, there are going to be some challenges, but with challenges gets opportunity. But here's what I do know: we're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
I love that, man. When I heard that soundbite, I love that. That says everything about this dude, man. You know what I mean? But if you're a Jets fan, be happy, man. You might not make the playoffs this year. You might. Who knows? We got to see how it plays out. I know you can look at the schedule all day, every day. But that's, again, the theme of the show is paper, right? That's on paper. The schedule is on paper. The player personnel is on paper. The coaches have just coached on paper other than the preseason games. So you can look at that schedule all day and decipher, the Jets could beat this one, but they're going to lose to this one. But at the end of the day, they have to play the games. Teams have injuries. Teams aren't as good as, we think they are. A million different scenarios can happen. So you never know. But, if you're the Jets, you're not looking to make the playoffs. You're looking to make the playoffs, but you're looking to just improve. And I think with Glenn, we definitely Glenn and the rest of the staff. I like what Wilkes is doing. I think Wilkes is a really good defensive minded, defensive minded. He's a DC, of course. I mean, Aaron Glenn's a defensive minded coach, but I don't think that's a problem because Saleh was too. But it just feels different around there. Armstrong seems good.
The energy feels different.
I know everybody's freaking the fuck out about the pass game. You know what I mean? Oh, with Justin Fields. Can we fucking relax for 2 fucking minutes here? Everybody just back it up for a second. You know what I'm saying? It's 2 preseason games. One, the first preseason game, he looked pretty good. So everyone's jumping out there with, oh my God, he's going to be, the next Lamar Jackson. And then the second game, he goes, 1 for 5. I can't remember. I think it might have been 1 for 5 on a couple of drives. And everybody's killing him. Oh my God, Zach Wilson all over again. Yo, relax. A couple of things. This is preseason, right? You know what I'm saying? This is preseason against a very good Giant defense. Not only that, they're not opening up the playbook in preseason. So everybody just relax. Q, I want to let's talk about the Jets first since I'm already on it. Any reason for the Jets to panic in terms of the pass game? We know they're going to run. We know Justin Fields is going to get out there and run. We know how good the offensive line is with the 2 right and left tackles and Membu and Fashanu and Tippmann, returning and Simpson's back. Great offensive line. They're all young. They're going to be able to gel a little bit. I think that's one of the most promising things. AVT's in there. You have a promising young offensive line who are only going to get better as time goes on. We all know what offensive lines you need chemistry and time to gel, but they're young and I think they're very good. I think the offensive line is beautiful. But in terms of the pass game, are you worried a little bit if you're the Jets?
Not really. They do have Garrett Wilson, and then they have what's his name, the tight end. You know, like
Mason Taylor.
yeah, Mason Taylor. I kind of like Mason Taylor a little
I
bit.
like him a lot. Let's see if he gets looks.
I do. You know, and I feel like anytime you're, and I wouldn't even say like inexperienced quarterbacks, but even when you go into a new organization, you know, that's the position that's your fail safe. You know, your tight end should always be the guy that you can depend on to get open and give you a quick
Yeah,
five
your
yards.
safety
And
blanket. Yeah, no doubt.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's the guy. And
Your
but
Gronk.
yeah, you know, and
Yeah.
I really don't think so. You know, like you know, you don't know what these guys and these quarterbacks are going to really do because we seen Brady, like, you know, Brady Cook had a couple of really good passes and he had a touchdown against the Giants. So, like, if Justin Fields doesn't work out, are you going to, you know, jump out the window and say, hey, you know, that's it, our season is over? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm not comparing Aaron Rodgers, but, like, that's kind of like how it felt when Aaron Rodgers got injured, you know, 2 seasons ago. And, you know, the ups and downs and roller coasters last year, but you still got to feel like the energy in this building has changed on both sides because
Facts.
now I feel like the energy for the Jets is finally where it needed to be because you know I've said this before on previous episodes about the Jets when as soon as they lost Salah, even though he's not that, you know, hold you accountable, hard-nosed type of coach,
Yes, sir.
they played for him. You know, they really played for him. And then, you know, anytime you lose a coach, you know, especially some, you know, defensive minded coach when you know you expected to have one of the better defenses in the league, yo, it's kind of it kind of puts you in a place where you just like, damn, what are we gonna do now? Like, you know, is the next guy like now we have to pay for this guy? Or now we don't, you know, you're gonna be discombobulated when you step onto that field.
Facts.
You know, thinking about what's gonna happen, like, and then you're losing on top of that. So you know, it's like it's like a double jeopardy. Like now you're like, oh man, now we're losing. We look discombobulated, you know, and that was basically their culture. They had a losing culture last
Yeah,
year.
he did.
This year, I feel like there's new energy. They got the right person as a head coach, in my opinion. They got the, you know, they have the right person to coach them defensively as well because I still think this is a very young defensive team, and I think they're only going to get better. And we've seen how good they can really be when they're in sync. But any team can also you know dismantle within itself when the important pieces start to crumble. You know, like head coaches leave and this person leaves and probably all type of bullshit was probably going in those locker rooms. These guys are probably brothers picking at each other. Hey, you should have had that block and hey, you dropped that pass. Yo, let these guys play, win a couple of games. Yo, feel that cohesiveness and then take it one game at a time. You know, you can't just automatically go into the season thinking that, you know, you're going to go 7-0, you know, into the half of the season and make it to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I think that's what kind of messed them up as soon as they got Aaron Rodgers. It was an automatic like, oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. Yo, can we play a game first?
Let me play a game.
You know, I take it one step at a time, but I like what they're doing. I like what they've done. I like the young talent that they have. This can be a really good team. And as long as they're able to gel and connect, which I obviously you know I would expect them to, especially since they're paying, you know, guys like Wilson and, you know, Gardner, you know, I would expect these guys to be around longer and you build a better young team, which they have. Now we just got to see what they really could do and how much potential these guys can really put out when they step onto that field week in and week out.
No, I totally agree. And damn, you had said something that I wanted to elaborate on. I think it was about the play. Oh, another thing, yeah, you brought something up, and I wanted to expand on this, and I kind of alluded to it in a little opening monologue or whatever. But the one they're not showing their playbook, right? You're not seeing the Jets official. You'll see a play here and there or a modification of a play. You know, they whatever they installed, the package they installed, you're not seeing the most of it in preseason. Why would you? That's stupid, right? The other thing is Justin Fields. Where did he come from, right? Chicago to Pittsburgh, now to the Jets. You know, Aaron Glenn, new coach, even though the defensive coach, Armstrong, new playbook. Let's calm down. Can the man learn the fucking playbook? You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone wants instant gratification, and I get it because they've been bad for so long. and you mentioned Salah, and I thought Salah was good. I thought they played for him, but I didn't think they were disciplined under Salah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in the past, I've never is that
I don't think they
discipline
were
shit
held
re-
accountable on the side, like what
Right.
you said earlier. That's like, they weren't.
Right? They were. He didn't hold them accountable, and I think. And I'm going to say Salah's a good defensive coach. We're going to see what he does with the Niners this year, but he's a solid DC. His previous stint with the Niners, they look good. I got a feeling that he's going to get them back in shape again now. The Jets, when he left, the Jets just fell apart. He left. Brick went from the DC to the head coach and everything. And even though Brick was the DC, Salah was the one installing the defensive plays, and they just fell apart. They went from one of the pretty much one of the best defenses in the league to dudes that couldn't stop the fucking run. You know what I'm saying? At all. Or couldn't stop anything to pass the run. So, but in terms of the pass, let's stay on that for a minute. I want to play a clip a little bit from Aaron Glenn, and he kind of agrees with what we're saying, or we agree with what he's saying. Here we go.
It's very much a passing league. Is there any concern about your ability to go downfield and whatnot?
Who says it's a passing league?
Isn't it passing league? Isn't that kind
The team that won the Super Bowl, what were they in passing? 29th.
Yeah.
What were they in running? First.
Defense, too, obviously. But
Well, we talked about offense, and then everything is falling down because we throw 6 passes. Then I mean, he's Johnny Unitas when we throw 4 passes. So it bothers me, and I laugh at it quite a bit. But the thing is, I understand it because that's the noise that happens on the outside.
That's it. And he was referencing the Eagles who won the Super Bowl. Eagles didn't have the crazy passing attack. You know what I'm saying? They were more grinded down defensive football, running it and then, making the right play when it counted and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I think Jets could be something like that. But I would have liked them to go out and get another receiver. They have a couple of guys in there. So they object. Look, Jets are going to get out there and run. Braylon Allen. He's going to catch some passes in the backfield. He's going to catch some screen passes. He's going to catch some short yard and stuff. I love Braylon Allen. Baby, what are they calling him? Baby, baby Derrick Henry. That's what Ocho Cinco calls him. And you know what I mean? Brees is going to do his thing. Justin's going to do his thing. And once Justin gets out there, he's in a full game. He's. This is my whole thing. Get him out there first play of the game or first couple of plays of the game. Let me get some read options. Let me get some design run plays from him. Let him get loose. Let him get the juices flowing. Grind that ball. And as long as, grind that ball, run that ball. And if you're having success, when you need him to pass, he's going to be dinking and dunking anyway. Shit to the flats, screen passes, stop routes, curl routes, little shit, right? Yeah. And let him get loose. Then pepper him. You know what I'm saying? So I think you got to let him get loose. You got to let him get. If I'm the Jets, I automatically set it off with him. But there was a quote from Aaron Glenn that said, I'm not even gonna read that, man. I'm just gonna talk about some of that. Let's talk about the defense. Steve Wilks, right? I like Steve Wilks a lot. Looking into him this past summer, going back and doing some research on like what type of defenses he runs. He's very, very. What's very interesting about him is that he's been a couple of different places, right? He's never run the same defense for consecutive seasons. So there's really no super read on what he's going to do. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of difficult to pinpoint a precise read on what his the defensive philosophies are. Unlike Glenn, who Glenn, like in Detroit, like lot of cover one, single high safety coverage. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of like his thing. He was dropping a nickel sometimes. But Steve Wilks, so far what I see now, I see a 3-4, a base 3-4, right? And then he'll with some cover one, and then I also see him dropping into like a 3-3-5 in a nickel. You know what I'm saying? So he'll drop that extra DB in the back. So, but like I said, we're not going to see what obviously the playbook is until the season. But they got some manpower there, man. I love the front seven. I don't think it's as good as the Giants, but I think it's close. Will McDonald last year had a breakout fucking year. Will McDonald was tearing shit up last year. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Jermaine Johnson is back. I love that. You know what I'm saying? So that's amazing. We all know how Quinn Williams gets down. Sauce got his paper. You know what I'm saying? Michael Carter, they got some pieces on there, man. They got some good defensive pieces. They got a really nice linebacker core. You know, I think they got to work on stopping that run a little bit better. But in terms of the defense, I'm not worried about that at all. I know what they're capable of. I know how Aaron Glenn gets down. Defense is his calling card, right? I'm not saying I'm worried about the offense, but I would have liked to have seen another receiver in there, right? What do we got? Garrett Wilson. We have Lazard back there, right? What's going on with my man who dropped the pass last year? Malachi Corley. What's going on with him?
I like Malachi Corley.
I like him too. He got to calm down though.
But yeah, I think he has to calm. But you know what? I like him more as like that slot receiver. I think that's where he can excel. I know he has the speed to be on the other side of Wilson, but I think he could really excel because he's very fast. As long as he can catch the pass, he could be an Edelman and Russ Welker, and that type of player that could get you those yards that the Jets wasn't really getting, because they missed a lot of opportunities on quick third and thirds last year. Like it was easy stuff that they should have been getting, but a lot of players was dropping passes, and you can't really blame it on Aaron Rodgers, but like what's going on, like, and they also, that was his first season basically there with them as well, and they happened to get, an older gentleman, granted he was a former MVP. That doesn't mean anything, man. You can have Tom Brady at 65. It doesn't mean he's going to take you to the Holy Land and win you the Super Bowl, like. But I do like Malachi Corley, and they got that other dude. What's his name? Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, journeyman. You know what I mean? I like Josh. I think he had a touchdown, right? Did they have a touchdown last week or the week before, whatever? I like Josh Reynolds. I really want to see more of this kid, Arian Smith. I want to see what Arian Smith is about, the rook. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think he has the potential to be really good. I would have probably went out and got another receiver, but look, like I said, Sherwood, Williams, Sauce. They got, like, I think Steve Wilkes, I think he's going to play aggressive. He's going to play cover one, but I think you're going to see a lot of aggressive man coverage. You know what I mean? I think he's going to let Sauce go one-on-one, because Sauce has been talking about for years, let me go one-on-one. And Sauce is like playing like man coverage in his zone, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Kind of like a in between man and zone. I want to see Sauce on the number one guy. Put me on the number one receiver. Put me on Jamar Chase. You know what I'm saying? Put me on Justin Jefferson. Put me on, Cheetah. Whatever, whoever it is. I want to see. Sauce. I want to see that from Sauce. Sauce got the super bag. I think
he has to earn it. You just got paid. Now, let's see what you were saying. You want to play that 1-on-1. You just got the bag. Now let's see what you can. Let's see what you for your yearly evaluation. We're gonna see how you really did against all the shit you was talking. You know what I mean? And I believe he could. Sauce is nice.
Yeah, you still got Michael Carter in the nickel formation. Mm-hmm. Yo, Tony Adams. What's the kid named Andre Cisco, Brandon Stevens? They have a good secondary. Listen. The Jets. This is what the Jets are gonna be this year. The Jets are gonna be the new Steelers. The new vintage Steelers. They're going to get out. They're going to run the ball a lot. Get ready for running the ball. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if they're down, they're going to have to put the ball in the air a little bit. But if the Jets can run the ball effectively, it's going to open up the pass game. We all know that. But look for that. Look for a hard-nosed, defensive, old-school, smash-mouth football on both sides of the fucking ball. That's what it's going to be. And, we're going to see in terms of what Justin Fields could do. Tyrod's always waiting in the wings. Like I said, I would have got another a receiver, but they didn't. They still, like I said, Lazard, Mason Taylor's going to catch them passes. Jimmy Ruck is more of a blocker, you know what I mean? But I like what they've done. They're not looking to win the Super Bowl this year. They've secured the line. They've upgraded at QB, because I wanted Justin Fields on the Jets because he came out in the same class as Zach Wilson. I thought they should have got him that time, but they upgraded the QB a little bit. Their running game was official. They've changed the culture. I don't think the defense is as good as it was last year on paper. We know the defense fell apart, but I still think the defense is very, very, very fucking good. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get out and get to the quarterback, and I like what they have in the secondary. And I'm interested to see how they do this year. But everybody, calm down. Let the Jets build. Let Aaron Glenn establish culture. Let them get their feet wet. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can be better than your record says. And I think that might be the case with the Jets. You know what I mean? They record at the end of the day, and I got to look at the schedule again. Their record at the end of the day might not be blow your socks off. But listen, in that conference, in the AFC East, yeah, the Bills we know is going to do their thing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not sold on Miami. I'm going to be honest with you. Did they get a little bit better? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe, right? They say the Patriots got a little bit better. Yeah, maybe on the defensive side of the ball, and they got Stephon Diggs. I don't know what Stephon Diggs has left, right? You know what I'm saying? So they might have gotten a little better, but there's no one in that division besides the Bills that makes me go, oh, shit, these niggas is coming. The Dolphins is coming to town. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know Miami has a really good offense. They got those two studs, and they got a couple of good running backs. Mike McDaniels ain't the best fucking coach, in my opinion. Before we get to the Giants, I'll let you close out.
And Tyreek has to earn his position on that. Like, there's a lot of turmoil within that division, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Jets, depending on how quick they're able to adjust with all these new team members and quickly grasp on the game plan and how they're gonna what their identity truly is, they can easily be the number 2 team in that division, easily.
Yeah,
easily, without a doubt. You know,
and if they're not, who cares? I want to see them get better.
Exactly.
This is and I know Jets fans are tired of saying, "Oh, rebuild," but this feels like a different rebuild. This feels like a real rebuild. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you got the proper guys in place. We're gonna see if Aaron Glenn is the proper guy, but I feel bad for Dan Campbell, man. He lost Aaron Glenn and he lost Ben Johnson. You know, but that's what happens when you have success. Usually, 9 out of 10 times, your DCs and your OCs and your assistants become head coaches other places, and so you know what I mean. We'll see. I think everybody was like kind of concerned about how Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams was doing in Chicago, and Caleb wasn't understanding the playbook. And you heard of his turmoil, and then he came out there with they didn't look good. So who the fuck knows? You gotta play. You gotta play the fucking game. You know what I'm saying?
That's it, man. One game a week at a time. That's it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not back in my full rhythm, so pardon self if I'm not flowing right. But it's been a while. Shout out to Preem. Shout out to my man L, and shout out to Rob, man. Love y'all brothers, man. I know. Hopefully get you back on here, but we gotta keep it pushing. Let's talk Big Blue. Let's talk G-Man. We will be Real Sports Talk will be in the building November 3rd, 2nd. What is it?
November 2nd.
November 2nd, Sunday. If you see us, I know we got a lot of Giant fans. If you see us, pull up on us, show some love. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna show love. We out there to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be drinking. I'll probably pass you a beer, a glizzy, pause. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, we're gonna be tailgating. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna go in the game and we're gonna watch the G-Man stomp a hole in the 49ers and all that. But yeah, Giants, man. You got to be careful with the Giants because they look to me. I'll be like, I'll be telling my boy, reel me back in because I'm getting ready to get it in. Pause. You know what I'm saying?
You're ready to dumb out.
I'm ready to jump off the fucking observatory deck in the Empire State Building, man. You know, I'm so thirsty. Pause for the Giants to be good, but I don't necessarily think I'm wrong. And you know what aggravates me before we start breaking down a little bit of what the Giants are doing? What aggravates me a little bit is all these pundits and all these media analysts and listen, a lot of these guys are former players, and I'm not saying they don't know what they're talking about. They know more. They've forgotten more football than I can ever fucking learn. But man, I don't remember every time I scroll down my page or I watch something, everyone's like, "Oh, the Giants are gonna be good this year." You know, like don't sleep on the Giants. In the winter time, they was cooking the Giants. Like I don't know if they just figured it out or it's the cool thing to do to stomp all over New York. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these guys are flipping. Before we get to Jackson Dart, right? Because everyone wants to know, should he start? Should he not start? I want to just highlight a couple of things the Giants have did, man. I was, we have the Malik Neighbors toe thing, right? I think it's just precautionary. You know, I don't because he's been dealing with that since last year and since college. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried. I'm concerned if that makes any right. I'm a little concerned. You know what I mean? He is our Saquon Barkley. The offense is going to run through Malik Neighbors. You know what I'm saying? And I love Tyrone Tracy, and we'll get into that. Scatterboos, he's banged up. I think he has the potential to be good. And Devin Singletary as well. Eric Gray a little bit more on special teams, but he'll get some carries. But we talked about this on the show in the winter. So in the summer, I wanted the Giants to go out and get another guy, but they didn't. But this kid, Bo Collins, right? Now, I don't know if he's going to make the team or if he's going to get relative minutes. But in light of Jalen Hyatt, I thought Jalen Hyatt was going to emerge because we saw Russell take a shine to him. They were having like private practices and working out together. And I felt like Russell saw something in this kid. What we all saw, a burner, guy who could take the top off the defense, right? And all that. I don't know. We haven't seen too much of Jalen Hyatt this summer, but I mean this training. I mean this preseason. But I like the kid Bo Collins, man. I think the kid Bo Collins could be good. Obviously, I like the running backs. Tyrone Tracy. You know, I was super high on him last year. Dude, we got fucking players, man. Malik Neighbors, Tyrone Tracy. I think Scatterbull has potential. We got Jackson Dart waiting in the wings. I don't want him in the game. I don't care. I heard the kid you sent today, Mark Schlereth, right?
Oh,
Stink.
Jesus.
Everyone let's calm down,
cut
bro.
Russell Wilson, yo, that's wild.
Yo, is this nigga crazy? He really said cut Russell Wilson?
He said cut
Why?
Russell Wilson.
Why, bro? What? Listen, Jackson Dart, I'm trying to control myself on him. You know what I'm saying? I think he looks like he has a lot of potential. And I wasn't sure on him because we've seen quarterbacks before. They say he has potential, you know, and they don't pan out to be nothing. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, a lot of last year's quarterbacks had a potential. We're going to see what J.J. McCarthy does. Bo Nix actually did well, but I think we got him for a steal, and I think if he pans out, it's going to be amazing. Does he look good? Absolutely. The fucking 80-yard pass last week, phenomenal, dude. It's hard not to jump out the window when you see, you know what I mean? He looks poised. That's what I like about him. I think you sent me some footage of him and who was it? They were coming out of the Quest facility. Was it him? I think it's Scatterbull. Remember that shit?
Yeah, Scatterbull.
And they were playing around. He looks loose. He don't look like Daniel Jones look tight. Pause.
Yeah.
And almost like a deer in headlights at times. You know what I'm saying? This kid looks loose. He looks loosey goosey. Yo, why throw him in the game? You don't need to throw him in the game right now. Let Russell do his thing. God forbid Russell gets hurt. Still don't throw him in the game. Put Jameis in there. Let the man sit behind these two veteran quarterbacks and learn. People are talking about let him start already. Are you fucking insane? Let's go back to Eli Manning sitting behind Kurt Warner, even though that was only for a couple of games. But let's go back to Jordan Love sitting behind Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers sitting behind Brett Favre. I mean, Tom Brady sitting behind Bledsoe. I mean, we can go on all fucking day about this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Even Dak Prescott sitting behind Tony Romo. You know what I mean? There's a million different cases we could talk about. You know what I mean? Right. Let him get his shit off. I know me and you agreed on this. I wouldn't mind him sitting 2 years. I know that's not going to probably happen, but I wouldn't mind him learning. Listen, we're forgetting. Yeah, Russell's a little bit older, but he's still a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's an All-Pro. Russell Wilson can ball, and he's playing good in preseason. I like the way he's playing. You seen the moon ball the other day, right? Yeah. Was that the 80? Did he throw the? Wait, he threw the pass. He threw the pass to Bo Collins. My fault. I said Dart. He threw the 80-yard pass. You know what I'm saying? Right? Am I bugging?
No, it was Dart.
It was Dart? Well, Russell had a couple of deep balls as well. Pause. You know what I mean? So, listen.
No, he went 4 for 7 for 108 yards, bro. Like that's.
So he had a couple of deep passes. I remember him having a moon ball.
25 yards a pass. Like
I remember him throwing a moon ball last week, and I was like, that's that moon ball. I can't. I've been watching so much football and boxing and baseball that I can't remember every play, but I want Russell to ball out. I want Jackson Dart to sit. Stop. Oh, it was the Bo Collins. Yeah, no, I think. Yeah, because he beat the cornerback. Yeah, he beat the cornerback on the right side of the field. Yeah, and Cisco, the safety, couldn't try to come over and help, but I think it was to Bo Collins, but they had me pumped, man. What's your thing? Jackson Dart, play now, sit, start, 2-year wait. What's the deal? What do you think?
Oh man. I see. I think it's all based upon. I wouldn't mind 2 years because we've seen some of the greatest quarterbacks that became Super Bowl champions right now sit for 2 years and still be successful, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's all gonna be. I think he still has to sit 1 year regardless, but I also think it's also contingent upon what the Giants are doing, right? Like if Russell has a so-so year, like not as good as what he did, because I still think that Russell still had good years in the Steelers and the Broncos. I think people are being a little bit too dramatic, about his time in the Denver Broncos. Like
Definitely the second year in Denver. The first year, I got
first year's a little shaky, but it's a brand new team. Second year, he threw for over 4,000 yards. Like I'm still over 30 touchdowns and like 7 interceptions or some crazy shit. Like that's a phenomenal year. Like, and that's the reason why he ended up becoming the starter over Justin Fields and the Steelers. So I think we got to see how well it is. But looking at the training camp, I think Russell's gonna. It looks like Russell has already, he's already gained some type of trust with his receivers. It looks like they're not only training in the training camp, they're going outside, flying to LA, and then working out in the house, and all these other extracurricular activities that.
Yeah, I agree.
It goes to show that you're trying to really work to achieve something that hasn't been really done, or even completed in the Giants in many years, and I see him working toward that, and I love to see it, and I think right now, just let him play the whole year, see what it goes like, and then, I think at that point, you're going to get a better understanding of, that's a whole year of knowledge that, just imagine, getting paid but not doing work at a job that, you work currently, whatever it is, maybe office shit or whatever. You go into 2 weeks of training, they putting you on the floor. You know what I mean? Just imagine having a whole year worth of training and then getting put onto the floor. Like, think about what type of employee you should be able to become. You know what I mean? And, if you do 2 years, obviously it should be even better. But, I think at this point, I wouldn't mind the 1 year. I think the 2 years might be a little bit too much, but I think it also depends.
It's not going to happen, but I think it would be beneficial.
I think so too. I don't see why not. But like I said, I think it's also going to depend on how many games that the Giants win. And I think they could win a decent amount of games. Like if they win 6-7 games and Russell and Winston play the entire season, I'm pretty sure Jackson's gonna, go do it. If the Giants look like they could have won this whole shit with Russell by himself, and it was just sparks. They win 10, 11 games. They made it to the playoffs, maybe even win a game. They're like, they're almost there. Like, at that point, do you really want to play Jackson Dart, or do you really want to take, another swing at it and just try to run it back with that same quarterback that, overachieved that 1 year? I think I would probably do that. If Russell wins 10, 11 games, I might just want to sit Jackson 1 more year and then see where it goes. And by that time, all these other young kids, you don't know where Cam might be. Another Ahmad Bradshaw behind Brandon Jacobs type shit. You know what I mean? Like, we got to see. Bo Collins might be that second dude. Jalen Hyatt might not be here, and
or he might ball out. You know what I mean? We don't know.
Yeah.
But I think you make a good point. I think you make an excellent point in terms of when you said the relationship Russell has with some of his receivers. And I mentioned Jalen Hyatt earlier. You just referenced a couple of guys. I love that about Russell Simmons. And I'm not gushing over Russell Wilson. I think I saw an interview with him. I think I sent it out to you guys. It was with Boomer and Gio. They were in the training camp. Russ just seems like he embraced the town immediately. That is so fucking important. We saw Jalen Brunson do it when he got here. You know what I'm saying? We saw Josh Hart do it when he got here. You know what I'm saying? Even Cat to a certain extent. We did see, to his credit, we saw Aaron Rodgers embrace the town. That didn't work out so good, but I think there was more to that than just X's and O's. But Russell Wilson embraced the town. He wanted to be here last year. I think they dropped the ball on not bringing him over here last year. But I understand contractually with Daniel Jones and everything. But you make a great point because he has went out of his way to create chemistry with his receivers. And not last week, it might have been last week or the week before. I don't know. My brain is like a hard drive. When there's a lot of information, I gotta erase some of the shit out of there and shit. But Jackson Dart, no, I think it was last week against the Bills. Jackson Dart threw a touchdown pass. Russ was the first one over there, all over him. Pause. You know what I'm saying? I said, yo, he understands the fucking assignment. You know what I mean? He knows he's here to be this kid's mentor. I just think he's not ready to hang this shit up. I still think he has a lot of good football left in him. You know what I'm saying? And as good as we think this kid Jackson Dart is, Russell's still more experienced, and that shit counts for something in situational football. 100%. You know what I'm saying? Clock management. And you can see Brian Dable. He's testing Jackson Dart. He's bringing him in cold. He's doing a lot of good things. But I think Brian Dable, in his mind, as long as Russell Wilson is, healthy and ready to play, I think there's no doubt in his mind that this year is Russell's thing. And if Russell balls out, you got to bring him back next year. They make the playoffs, you got to bring him back, like 100%. And why not? Bring him back. Let this kid get more fucking experience. Let us see some more fucking moon balls. You know what I'm saying? But I am excited about Jackson Dart defensively. Let's talk a little about the defense.
Oh man,
Abdul Carter first week was a fucking monster. He got leveled in practice against the Jets. I don't really want to get into that. That's just football beef. They talking shit back and forth in the media. He just got caught off guard. It was a chip. But defensively, he looks like a monster. They was double teaming him last week. Brian Burns made some big tackles for losses last week. Brian Burns, 8.5 sacks last year. I would have loved for him to got double digits, but Brian Burns, and even Kayvon Thibodeau play well. I think Thibodeau was on some shit like, everybody talking about these motherfuckers and shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like niggas, your niggas forgot about Dre.
And then they got Dexter Lawrence. They
got sexy Dex. You know what I'm saying? And kind of similar to the Jets. The Jets played a 4-3, but I think the Jets are going to be in the 3-4, right? But Jets are going to be in the 4-3. Yeah, Giants 3-4. Mm-hmm. You're going to see a lot of that cover 1 and some cover 2 and some 3-3-5 nickel defense. I think that's where they're going to excel. We already know that front seven. We talked about Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter is, to me, he's already, I don't want to say he's already proven himself, but you can see he's just a special player. And let me give myself some love, because did I not advocate for him all winter?
Yeah.
Right. And my man, what's my man out? And my man Travis Hunter, he might be good, but in order for him to be special, he's gonna have to play both sides of the ball, or else he might just be an above average cornerback. That's not like Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter is the new Micah Parsons, the new Lawrence Taylor, the new, the new fucking lights out, the new what's my man from Aaron Donald. He's like that type of fucking play. You know what I'm saying?
Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett.
I love the team, man, and maybe we get. I think we talked about this last year. It's been the Giants have not had multiple players with double-digit sacks since guess what year?
What, 2011?
Close, very close. Good shit. 2010. Only 7 times, according to Dan Solomon of Giants.com. I hope I'm not butchering his name. Only 7 times in franchise history. I'm sorry. Only 7 times in franchise history have the Giants had 2 players with double-digit sacks. And now, guess who those players were? Guess who the last players to do it were, I should say.
Oh,
in 2010. Yeah.
I think it was Justin Tuck and Umenyiora.
Damn, you had that in your notes?
Nah.
that's pretty fucking good, man. Shout out to you. Yeah, so we might see that this year. Maybe Burns gets 10. I know they're not going to get 3, but we got that pressure up the middle by Dex. Abdul and Burns setting the edge. That base 3-4. This shit's going to be a nightmare, and especially in NFC East. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't know about the Cow. I'm not. Everyone's saying the Cowboys could be 3rd in the division. I don't know that. I don't know that at all. You got to show that to me. As far as the Commanders, yeah, they did good last year. Are we going to see some regression? I don't know they're going to be necessarily second. I know they made it to the championship game or whatever, NFC championship game, but I don't know that. Now, I don't want to jump out the window, but I don't think it's as cut and dry as people are thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think we're getting really disrespected, especially with the Commanders, Terry McLaurin, asking for a trade. There's a lot of
Yeah,
there's a lot of tit for tats. Like
yeah,
and
it's a big piece of what they do.
That's a huge piece of what
Yeah.
what they do. What do you have, like 1,100 yards last year? Like
Yeah.
that's when you have when you're a rookie quarterback and you have that type of explosive wide receiver, it makes your job a little bit easier, man. Like
Yeah.
when you have to like really do these little dip and dives, and what I
Yeah.
mean, you have no chemistry with these guys, and they don't have no really speed to really go out there to dump the ball and for them to catch it. You're gonna have a
Yeah.
hard time all season, man. You can be the greatest one of them all, man. If you have a weak core, what are you gonna do? You can't make the worst wide receiver a great one just because you can throw the ball well.
Yeah.
You gotta forget it's a 50-50. You gotta throw it, he gotta catch it. And then the Cowboys is
100%.
the Cowboys is the Cowboys, man. Like I have no more faith in Jerry Jones. I've never been a fan of Dak Prescott. I don't think they have a running game anymore. Like I really don't see the Cowboys being that well. I think a lot of people, I think somebody said the Giants are gonna. I saw a video. The Giants are not gonna win any games. So another video. Giants are gonna win only 2 games. I think.
Yeah.
The fucking Pro Football Focus. They have the Giants defense ranked 3. You know what I mean? And I think this team right now is gonna be Shane
That's
Bones.
my favorite site. That's my favorite site, Pro Football Focus. Yeah.
And I think it's gonna make Shane Bowen's job so much easier this year. Because when you could apply that much pressure to the quarterback and to the pass, man, it's gonna be so much easier for your
It's a whole
secondary to catch. You're not gonna be able to throw an accurate pass every single time when you have all that pressure, and it's gonna give more chance and probability for that secondary to catch or cornerback to catch an interception. I think we're gonna see a decent amount of interceptions, especially that our secondary did get better this year. And then we got the 3. We got the 1, 2, 3, 4 punch. We got Dexter Lawrence, Thibodeau. You got Brian Burns and Abdul Carter. So now we have a new guy who's going to be, a breakout player, in my opinion, that can come and give these guys some rest and still consistently apply pressure. Like, I think that's going to be a very big thing. And I think anytime the Giants, because that's the Giants' identity, anytime the Giants have a great defense, they're able to win games and score points, because we do have tough schedules. We do have a tough division. And I think one of the biggest things is we got a kicker again. Remember, we were struggling with a kicker last year, and we lost like 4 games by less than 3 points, or 3 points or less. So
Special teams should be better. Yeah, for sure. And I think the defense, man. Just looking at this defense, man. Like, I'm sorry, the offensive line. Like, we already know Andrew. Listen, offensive line. Everybody's saying the offensive line is crap. Maybe I'm in La La Land. Are they the best offensive line in the league? No, right? Are they top 10? No. But I think last year, I think they did a good job. I think Daniel Jones and the scheme was part to blame for that. I mean, towards the end of once Andrew Thomas went down, shit kind of fell apart. But at one point, they looked okay. And I think Illuminor and Andrew Thomas at the bookends, decent. Van Rotten and John Runyon at the guards, experienced guys in the middle. I like that. Then you got depth pieces like Hudson, who they brought in. You still got Isudu, you know what I'm saying? Stinney's still there. Are they the best? No. What's the young kid's name?
Who?
The Marcus Mbao. So they got some depth on that line, and on the other side of the ball too. We mentioned Dexter Lawrence. We mentioned Brian Burns. I think Okereke, who I love, him and McFadden. Got to stop the run.
Yep, Mekhi McFadden. Hell yeah.
You got Raheem Nunez Nochez, and I want to see what the young kid, like the rookies are. I'm very intrigued with the rookies. Darius Alexander. I want to see what he's gonna do. I want to see what he's gonna be. And with the secondary, right? Obviously, Tyler Newman, Paulson Adebo, Javon Holland, Deontay Banks, and Drew Phillips. I like that. Not to mention Cordell Flott, who got a little run last year. Cordell Flott, Dane Belton, right? Trey Hawkins. Yo, bro. I think this defense is gonna make some fucking noise. You know what I'm saying?
I think we can definitely.
We'll
I
see
think
what
if
the
all
offense
goes
does.
well, we could definitely win double-digit games, especially if we keep it close, which I think we're
Yeah.
always going to be able to do. And now that we have a solidified quarterback, now we have
Yeah.
I think a way better run game now. Even though we lost Saquon Barkley, I still think we have a really good running game still. And now we have wide receivers again. Let's keep it a buck. When you're talking about
You love the wide
offensive-
receiver room? You loved it? That's the only thing I'm a little bit worried about.
I'm not totally in love, but I know there ain't no slackers. Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton, they can give you 800-yard seasons with Malik Neighbors giving you over 1,000 yards.
Where has Darius been though? I haven't seen. He hasn't. There's not
Yeah,
a lot of
because
motion around him, right? Am I
Who
bugging or
was
something?
throwing to him? Daniel Jones was throwing.
No, I'm talking about even in training camp, and this is not a lot of motion around. Darius you haven't heard too much about him.
Well, he was doing. They've been giving him the ball. He had a couple of highlights in training camp, but you know what? He's the starters. Like those guys, none of them has really played except probably like Jalen Hyatt, and I think
They brought the
think-
kid
I
over
think
from the
that's a-
Saints. What's the kid from the Saints' name? Jordan Humphrey. They brought Jordan Humphrey over. He's not gonna light shit
Yeah,
up, but
he
he's a
was
depth
playing,
piece. He's a depth piece. For
and
sure.
we got and I think another thing is that we got Theo Johnson, man. Like I was really big on this, kid last year, but then he got hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's time for him. Hopefully he came back and healed well, and let's see what he could do this year. I think there's gonna be a lot of pieces that a lot of people are not gonna be able to be prepared for this year.
See what
I think it's
Daquan
gonna-
Felton can do too. Let's see what he's about. And he's not gonna get that much burn, but at the receiver position, rookie. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how that goes.
I definitely think this could be a great team. And like I said, as long as like we always do, play good defense, score some points, because now we get some points on the board. Like even when that Daniel Jones and salute to him for making the QB1 over there with the Colts, but homie could have 6-7 seconds in the pocket and still miss the throw. We don't have that right now. Like we don't have that right now, because I know Russell Wilson has 5-6 seconds. Probably gonna turn into like a touchdown or some shit, or the 40-yard pass. And I think I'm really excited. I haven't been this excited in a couple of years, and rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, I'm really excited to last couple of years, I was watching the games like I'm about to be fucking pissed at 4:30. I'm about to have
Word to bonds,
watching a night game. Like I have to go to sleep at 11:30. Like
It takes me out of it though. Like when the Jets. Let's say the Jets and the Giants are staggered. Let's say they're playing on Sunday 1-4. I'm watching the 1:00 game. I'm watching the 4:00 game. Or if I'm flipping back and forth between both of them, and when they're both trash, I'm watching the Channel 4 game at night. And I'm watching Monday Night Football, and I'll probably catch the Thursday night game, and then towards the end of the season, the Saturday night games. But I know it's fucked up, but when the Giants and Jets ain't bubbling, I'm just not into it as much as I.
Your blood's not.
It's not.
Pumping, yo. It's just
It's
like,
not.
oh, that's
It's just
great.
I'm just going through the motions, just so I can talk shit to my dudes at work or whatever. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
Or y'all niggas, but nah, this shit is
This shit feels different, man.
It feels
Like,
competitive this year, and they might be better than their record shows. You know what I mean? So we're gonna find out very soon, man. Game one, right? Who is it?
Game one is the
Wizard. I mean, Washington, right? I said the Wizards.
yeah. Game one is the Commanders.
Woo! Let's
Tough.
go.
It's a test.
Division one. Let's get bang out. Division game. Let's bang out.
Last year I think last year between both games they beat us by I think a field goal one game and a touchdown the other.
I'm super pumped. There's no basketball on right now. The Knicks will be back in training camp and the next month. So right now is a good part of the year, man. I think end of September, early October, I think they get back into training camp. So that's gonna be dope. So like you figuring like November is gonna be bubbling in the city.
Oh man,
the city's gonna be crazy.
And that's
Jets,
my
Giants,
perfect-
Knicks,
that's my
and
favorite
hopefully the
weather.
Mets and the Yankees will be. I know they've been off and on lately, but hopefully we'll see some good action with them And New York should be in good shape, man.
Yeah, New York is back. Let's go.
We're back. Yeah, man. Good show today, B. Like, before we get out of here, we could have sat here and broke down the game against the, Giants beat up the Jets and everything. We could sit down and give you a preview tomorrow, but this is preseason, bro. We're gonna do that during the season. You know what I'm saying? We'll get on here and we'll start doing some lives and shit like that, more lives and shit. Y'all can tap in, and we're just here having fun, man. We just, you know what I mean? So, like, everybody calm down. If the Giants lose tomorrow, when the Jets play Saturday,
Yeah, they play
the
Saturday.
Jets lose Saturday, or if they win, don't get the whole theme of the show is don't get too high, don't get too low. It's about the regular season. You know what I mean?
You're over here watching third and fourth stringers just play for a spot on the roster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, word up. But before we
100%.
go, we got to
Yeah.
remind everybody, to make sure they like and subscribe. Make sure you go check out the link in the description for the merch store.
Please, we got fire.
We got fire.
The
We
shit
got
you could wear like
fire.
just chilling. You don't even gotta wear it on
Fire.
some sports shit.
That's
Shit you
it,
could wear Sundays.
man.
The shit you could wear when you watch the Knicks games. The
Word
shit
up.
you could wear like going
To
to the
Sunday
sports
dinner
bar.
with your
Yeah,
family.
Sunday dinner. So we got some fire in there. I'll put the link in this episode, and
Word up.
it's fire, man. I'm excited. I got my shot ready. Let me get my shit together. Shout out to all my niggas. I'm gonna give a shout out to my man Ishmael, my man Corey, my man Tiz, my homegirl Kez. Had a good time out in Jersey. Shout out to my boy Amin. Shout out to everybody who's been watching Drunk Sports Combat, the Doghouse Boxing Show. Shout out to Brian Owen Sr. We out here, we shaking a little bit. It's football season. Baseball season. Not a lot to talk about with us because we like baseball, but we leave it to the experts to really break it down. But this is where you clear the lane and let us do our thing right now, this time of year. So
Facts.
shout out to all the people who watch the show. New York City is back. New York sports is back in the building, man. Salute.
Facts. Salute.
Peace. See y'all next week.
Peace.